Hello, Erica here, and today I'm filming a very, very exciting video because it is time for Dewey's Readathon. This is my favorite readathon of the year. It happens twice a year in April and October, and I will put all the pertinent links down below. The basic goal is to read as much as you can in a 24-hour period. This is a very cool readathon because it starts at the same exact time all over the world, so you'll need to check out, depending on your time zone, what your start time is. I highly encourage people to participate if you can, even if you don't have a YouTube channel or a blog. I do most of my updates throughout the readathon on Twitter. I will be over there all day tweeting away about what I'm doing, how much caffeine I've consumed, and how little sleep I've gotten. So, this is only the second time that I've participated in Dewey's. I participated in April, and I thought I did a really great job for my first one. I read for about 14 hours total, and I think I read almost 1,100 pages. So this time around, I planned ahead and I actually took off work the next day so that I can recover and sleep. So my goal is to read for 16 whole hours. Page goal, I'm kind of iffy about. I have a lot of graphic novels and some poetry and stuff here, so that kind of skews a page goal. But 16 hours is my goal this year. And again, I will be all over Twitter and keeping you all updated as I go along. So I picked up a giant stack of really short books. I have 3 novellas, 3 short story collections, 3 graphic novels, 3 collections of poetry, and 2 audiobooks picked out. I will not read all of this, but I found last time with Dewey's that it was really great to just have a giant stack ready to pick from of short, quick reads because it kept me interested and engaged, especially if you have a wide variety of genres and topics to read about. And audiobooks are super important for Dewey's because that lets you get up and move around, but you're still reading and competing towards your goal. One thing, if you don't already know, that's really helpful for me with tracking how long I've read, is to use the stopwatch, the timer function on my iPhone. And I just start it and stop it as I read, but I don't reset it, so it adds up throughout the day. I know a lot of people do this already, but if you are not aware, that was super helpful for me last time. So without further ado, here are the books that I have picked out for this go around. First, I have 3 novellas from Melville House's The Art of the Novella series. I am subscribed to their subscription service, so I get sent 2 of these a month, and I really need to catch up on reading them and stay on top of it. So the 3 I've picked out are The Lifted Veil by George Eliot. This is supposed to be kind of a creepy story. I think about a man who's dying. I've tried to read it before and didn't love it, but maybe now that I've read Middlemarch, I'll have a better appreciation for Eliot. This is pretty short. It's only about 74 pages, and these books are pretty short and squat. So we'll see if I get to this. I also have A Simple Heart by Gustave Flaubert. I have no idea what this is about, but I love Flaubert's Madame Bovary, so I'm really excited to pick up more of his work, and it's pink. Hello. So this one's only about 60 pages, so maybe it will take me about an hour to read, and I'll have that on deck. And lastly, I have The Diamond as Big as the Ritz by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Again, I have no idea what this is about, but I prefer that with novellas. You can't really do a plot synopsis for a novella. I really like F. Scott Fitzgerald, so I'll be excited to dive into this, and this is about 85 pages. Then I have 3 collections of poetry. I found that poetry worked really well for me last time because it can be read so quickly because there's not as much text on the page. I felt like I was getting a lot more reading done, even though I really wasn't, but it motivated me to kind of keep going. Also, I like to read poetry aloud to myself, so that's kind of a fun break from just staring at a page. So the first thing I have is Hold Your Own by Kate Tempest. This is a collection based on the myth of Tiresias, and I'm really excited to get into it. I've heard wonderful things. I watched a YouTube video of her performing one of these poems, and it was absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to get into this. This is quite short. It is about 108 pages long, so I should be able to fly through it. Next, I have Adrienne Rich's The Dream of a Common Language. These are her poems from 1974 to 1977. I have not read any Adrienne Rich, but she has been highly recommended to me, and I felt like this was probably a good place to start. So this is a slim volume as well. It's about 75 pages, and I'm really, really excited to get into her work. Finally, I have John Berryman's 77 Dream Songs. I know very little about John Berryman, except that he's mildly famous, and people seem to like him. So I will be trying to get into this as well, and this is about 85 pages of poems. Next, I have 3 graphic novels. I found that last time I did Dewey's, it was really nice to have graphic novels to pick up when I was too tired of looking at a lot of text on a page and just for something quick and fun. So the 3 I have picked out for this time are Odyssey Volume 1 by Matt Fraction. This is a retelling, like a sci-fi retelling of the Odyssey, and apparently it's going to blow my mind. Look at these colors. This is insane. The coloring in this is insane. Like, look at that. So I've heard nothing but great things about this. I really like Matt Fraction's Sex Criminals series, and I'm excited to get into this. Next, I have Lock and Key Volume 1 by Joe Hill. This is a horror story, and I am usually a big baby when it comes to horror, but at least it'll keep me awake. This was on my October TBR anyway for my spooky reads, so we will see how this goes. And lastly, I have a really short graphic novel. This is The Killing Joke. It's a Batman story by Alan Moore and Brian Boland. It's really short. It's hardcover, so it looks a lot thicker than it is, but it's like that long. I've had this forever, and I just really need to go ahead and read it. I've only read one Batman story before, but I think that I will enjoy this one, and we'll see how it goes. Then I have short stories. I feel like short stories are really great for readathons because you can dip in and out of them and kind of pick them up and put them down. You don't have to finish the collection. There's no pressure. So I have 2 really slim volumes. The first one is Civil War Land in Bad Decline by George Saunders. I adore George Saunders. He does some really awesome things. He kind of writes these genre-bending short stories that walk the line between literary fiction and sci-fi and dystopian and fantasy, and they're just mind-blowing. So this is a really short collection. It's 175-ish pages, and I can't wait to read more of his work. Then I have something else that was already on my October TBR. This is The Bloody Chamber and Other Stories by Angela Carter. These are kind of dark retellings of classic fairy tales. This is only about 150 pages, and I've been told that I'm going to love it. So I'm really excited about this, and I'll definitely be dipping in and out of this. And lastly, I have a giant book of short stories, which of course I'm not going to read the whole thing, because this is like 900 pages. No, it's only 700. Anyway, this was just recently published. This is 100 Years of the Best American Short Stories. It's edited by Lori Moore and Heidi Pittler. There are some amazing authors featured in this book, such as Catherine Ann Porter, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Flannery O'Connor, Raymond Carver, Grace Paley, James Baldwin, Alice Munro, Jamaica Kincaid, Yuno Diaz, Jimbo Lahiri. I am just thrilled to get into this collection. And some of these stories I've already read by authors that I really like, but a reread has never hurt. So I think I might bounce around in this a little bit if I get bored with everything else that I have going on. And lastly, I have 2 audiobooks picked out. They are both pretty short, about 5 or 6 hours, so if I listen to them on like 2 times speed, that's about 6 hours of listening, so I'll be listening to those while I'm cooking food and eating snacks and taking a break, and I'll probably go on a run at some point during the day to keep me awake. So the ones I have are Haruki Murakami's memoir, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. This is a pretty short memoir about how running and writing kind of coexist in his life, and I'm really excited to get into it because I am a runner and I love Murakami, so I'm sure that this will be really interesting. The other one I've picked out is Big Magic, Creative Living by Fear. This is a new release from Elizabeth Gilbert, and it's all about living creatively, apparently. I have not read anything by her. I did not read Eat, Pray, Love because it did not sound like my thing. This sounds more like my thing, and I think it'll be a good audiobook. It should keep my attention. So that's all I have planned for Dewey's 24-hour readathon. Please let me know if you're participating. I am so excited! And let me know what you have picked out to read and kind of what your game plan is. I would love to hear about it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!